real solutions to money, relationships, wellness, and more. Shine a light onto your day and into your life. Power Your Life with Dr. Joanne White.
Welcome to Power Your Life. I'm Joanne White, your host. For the past decade, the long-running sexual abuse scandal involving many priests has cast a dark shadow over the Catholic Church. My first guest is a Catholic priest who's written a novel, The Black Wall of Silence, about the struggle for the soul of the Catholic Church, which is being ripped apart by the sexual abuse crisis. Welcome, Father Paul Morrissey. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
This is an incredible book. Father Zach is working in a prison and finds out that one of the prisoners that presumably murdered a priest was sexually abused. Firstly, why did you write it as fiction?
I feel like a story, like fiction, in contrast to, say, a memoir or even a book explaining things, allows people to enter into it and not feel like they're being talked to and told what to think, but are invited to identify with characters and have any of their own feelings, whatever they are. I wanted people to have this opportunity.
And the book itself, what compelled you to write the book?
I think my own search for meaning in the church, with all of this struggle going on, my attempt to find some healing for myself, and then realize so many people really cry out for healing in the church. The victims, first of all, people in the pews, the church leaders, priests who sometimes have been equated as pedophiles as a whole group.
Right.
I wanted to write a story that would provide a means of discussing this and healing in some way.
Do you feel that healing is taking place?
Sometimes one by one. I see clients who are either sometimes victims or even perpetrators.
Right.
And one by one, people are seeking healing. The church as a whole, I think we have a lot to do yet. I think people have just stuffed some of their feelings or hidden them, and they need to get them out.
So what more do you feel could be done, Father Paul?
The Pope has asked us, in preparation for this World Family Meeting in Philadelphia in September, and a synod to follow it on the same topic, to discuss these matters, things that families are dealing with. Well, the family of the church is dealing with this.
Right.
And so I feel like we can do that in preparation for this meeting. So we're trying to open up these discussions in parishes and other places.
Now, this person, the protagonist in this book, is really torn between morality and his conscience. And do you feel that that's been going on a lot in the church and is still going on?
I think, as I show with the cover, with the priest having the Roman collar around his mouth,
Right.
it represents in some ways how a lot of people feel in the church, but in particular perhaps priests, caught in the middle between the hierarchy of the bishops and the people. Can we really say at times what we think? Must we only do it in private, in a counseling room, a confession? Can we really enter into a dialogue about some things that are maybe people are struggling and hurting with? So I wanted to show that struggle, that silencing that actually, is in so many organizations, colleges, corporations, families where sexual abuse is happening. A person seeing that happening, let alone a victim, is almost compelled to hide it at times, to hold the institution together.
Well, they're torn. What do I do? Do I listen to my conscience? Do I listen to take the moral ground, or do I have this relationship with this organization or with the church or with my family and keep silent?
Right.
But that's a real
That's what
struggle.
the book's about.
Right.
To show people this is going on everywhere, not just the church, but in particular the church. And I have the bishop saying at one point, challenging this priest who's in a battle with him up to the courtroom climax, the bishop says to the priest, do you think any relationship could hold together if the two people in it were really honest completely with one another? How's that for a challenge?
So what's your answer to that?
I think people pick and choose when and how and what they say to one another in relationships, in a family, because sometimes you feel like you even your conscience tells you, I gotta hide this alcoholism or abuse or something else going on because I'll get thrown out of the family, or it'll wreck the family,
Right.
or the church.
Right. So maybe it's not necessarily not speaking the truth, but not disclosing, so keeping some things private, which is a way of still not
Or, you know, these
lying.
bishops, I've been really thinking this morning and really even weeping in my car a little as I drove over here. Why is this going on? I said, I kept thinking what we spoke about on the phone, about the healing that's needed, and even the victims, most of all, still so many, almost inconsolable.
What would you say to them? Because we only have a few seconds.
I would look straight at them and say, I'm so sorry you were harmed, and by somebody in the church. Please don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, like throwing Jesus Christ out or the church. Help talk with us. I want to talk with you. We need you. I would say something like that to them.
Help us heal.
That's what I would say.
Thank you so much, Mike.
Thanks a lot.
My pleasure.
Thanks.
Just ahead,
It's good people because
it's that unforgettable moment between Johnny and Baby that no one will ever forget. Who's the man behind the song? You're going to meet him right after the break when we return.
oh,